And this promises to be a final between two boxers who are not only skillful and talented, but my goodness, do they possess some guts, because FELIMON has turned around, losing positions after the first round twice in succession. Let's get the official introductions here.
The boxers from Poland, Jakub STRASZEWSKI.
Well, what a wonderful reception for Jakub STRASZEWSKI, 17 years of age, and the man comes in as a national youth champion in the youth ranks. And he has boxed quite magnificently through the course of this tournament, preparing for his 5th bout in the final. He was masterful in his semi-final win against Vishal Gupta. An amazing display. The southpaw with fluid, languid punch picking, a beautiful, relaxed lead right jab. When he won his quarterfinal to get himself through to the medal stages, the man was overcome with emotion, prevailing on a 3-2 split on cards that were 28-29 across the board. He edged it, and the emotion of his accomplishment, the magnitude of his accomplishment hit him. But my goodness, how he regrouped in that semi-final to completely outbox the talented Indian boxer Vishal Gupta with an amazing display. And as soon as he entered the ring for that semi-final, he had the look of a man who was on a mission, not happy with the guaranteed bronze that he had earned. He had had his sights set on this particular juncture, and now he's looking to become Poland's first champion here at this home championship in Kielce 2021. But it is not going to be easy, because over in the blue corner, he's got a man who is similarly competitive, wasting no time, a direct route into the boxing ring. He produced an amazing display in his semi-final to defeat Ramazan Dadayev of Russia, winning in the 3rd round, as we see judges from Croatia, Guatemala, India, Israel and Argentina. He lost the 1st round, battled his way back in the 2nd, and in the 3rd round, which he needed, the man produced a standing count against his opponent to prevail on a 3-1 split. He too preparing for his 5th bout of the tournament. You did the bout in the semi-final, Andy, where he was warned in the 2nd round and again dug in and won round 3 and won it strong to book his place in the final 4.
That was an extraordinary performance, because Gorbatenko, European Youth Champion, jumped all over him in the 1st round, took the 1st round, so he knew that he had to really dog it out in the 2nd round, did that, had the point deduction, knew he needed to do it again in the 3rd round and do it clearly to get the judges' opinions, and did it. It was huge, it really was.
What a moment in the lives of these two teenage boxers. STRASZEWSKI, 17 years of old, FELIMON, 18 years of age, and we are underway. 91kg heavyweight action, the gold medal bout between boxers from Poland and Cuba. The home boxer wearing red, who has just scored with a good left uppercut to the body, is the rhythmic, fluid, relaxed Jakub STRASZEWSKI. Really does possess terrific movement that belies his 91kg frame, but the man looking to get onto the front foot and into the pocket immediately is Jorge FELIMON of Cuba. And we all know the tradition that those boxers have enjoyed in AIBA boxing at all levels, and we had a roll call of just a few of them, Andy and I, when we were discussing former greats up and around this weight category. So both boxers will take plenty of inspiration. STRASZEWSKI from the crowd, FELIMON from his rich boxing heritage, and he's, oh, and down goes the man in blue, but he's been ruled a slip. Now, just before that, FELIMON actually landed with a nice single shot. But it's STRASZEWSKI looking to be the aggressor, and there's the movement I was referring to, able to get in and out and then use back foot movement. He does take a hard left hook out of the man in blue. And both of these boxers, absolutely no questioning their competitive desire. FELIMON able to keep his concentration in difficult circumstances, and again, even though we're boxing in COVID-19 safe conditions, there is a terrific atmosphere here from the support staff in attendance and many of the volunteers who are making near supports for Strazewski known. He's continuing to circumnavigate the boxing ring, moving to his left in a clockwise direction before spinning off and going counterclockwise. Nice defense is erected by Felimon to repel the two-shot salvo that came towards his head, but he couldn't block the two shots that were then scored down to the body from Strazewski. So 2 minutes gone in the opening round, and it's been fought at a fair clip for 91kg heavyweight boxers. There's a nice single right-hand lead scored by Felimon. Felimon looking for that backhand, which is always an effective antidote against a southpaw boxer, but Strazewski showing wonderful hands, going down to the body and letting punches go in bunches. Solid right hand landed by Felimon as Strazewski was near the ropes. Strazewski looking to establish that lead right jab once again. It's such a relaxed, rhythmic weapon, and when he gets it working, it is very effective indeed. Whips in a left hand to the body with his palm turns upwards. Tried to get onto the front foot. Felimon able to spin off. Felimon just perhaps in danger of being outworked in this opening round. Now Strazewski, not all of his punches have been accurate, but he's certainly given the impression of being the busier boxer. So the 10-second clapper sounds, and it's Strazewski on the front foot once again, and his two-shot salvo brings a roar of encouraging applause from the people in attendance here at the Hala Legianov. I think Strazewski has done enough to take that opening round.
Yes, so do I. So do I. As you said, for the exact reasons you gave, he was busy. So he's got it with 3 of the judges there. The other 2 have gone for Felimon. There wasn't an enormous amount of difference between the 2 in terms of the quality of shot that they landed and the number of punches that they landed. I did just feel that Strazewski would have nicked it on that higher work rate. Felimon has been here before. We've seen him drop the first round before, and he hasn't entirely dropped that round, but he's just come off slightly second best. I do think he needs to just try and just up his punch output a little bit. We talked about the hazards of being a slow starter in this code of boxing. It would appear that he kind of is one, really, but we know what he can do when he decides to get down to work. So this could be a tough round for Strazewski.
Round 2.
So to the second round then, Felimon just edged after 3 minutes of boxing, 3-2 on the scorecards, and both men taking up residence in centre ring, but that's a terrific portion of the round, thanks to that combination of punches from Strazewski. And he really is a boxer who builds on his momentum, but with his back in the neutral corner there, he was picked off by a hard right cross, and here's some body shots being sunk in by Felimon. So Felimon looking to keep the taller, rangier figure in red near the ropes, keep him confined, and see if he can target the torso and the head as well. Nice right uppercut turned underneath by Strazewski with a left hook around the corner. Felimon looking to get in behind that lead right jab. He dips down with a right hand above the belt line once again, and continuing to work that lead left hand and the straight cross to the body. He turned it into an uppercut as Strazewski tried to counter with a straight over the top. Luca Vadilonga of Italy, the referee, reminding Felimon that he's got to keep his punches up. And Felimon, here he comes with his incessant forward march. He really is a difficult boxer to discourage. He keeps on coming, and despite what is coming in his direction, keeps his composure in the pocket, able to tuck up, roll and weave, and that's a solid right hand that he landed, followed by an eye-catching stiff left jab that he was able to poke out. And Felimon, as we approach the midpoint of the round, just giving the impression that he's beginning to get on top. Strazewski keen to tie his man up, gain some respite, regroup his thoughts, and come again. But Felimon won't give him the room to breathe, and now he's beginning to get clearly on top of the boxer in blue. Hook into the solar plexus, and then followed by a left hook over the top. Strazewski breathing through an open mouth. His breathing becoming more labored now because he's been punched repeatedly in clean fashion during the course of this second round. And Felimon proving irresistible as he burrows away to both body and head. His chin was checked by a big right cross, followed by a big left hook, and that causes the intervention of referee Luca Vadilonga to issue a standing 8 count. And that, of course, won't necessarily result in a 10-8 round, but make no mistake, this has been a big round for Jorge Felimon. He senses he's got his man in trouble, helps himself to a left hook, followed by a right cross, and Strazewski is under real sustained pressure here. He's holding on, trying to get his wits back about him, but Felimon will simply not give him any room to breathe, going through the gears magnificently in his pursuit of World Championship gold here in Kielce 2021. Another salvo, hooks crashing in, and the referee Luca Vadilonga has stepped in to issue the standing 8 count. Now, of course, in youth boxing, the health and safety of the boxers absolutely paramount. Luca Vadilonga taking a close look in the eyes of STRAZZEWSKI and giving him every chance here in his home championships. But Felimon is a man on a mission now, and he feels that he's just a few punches away from World Championship gold. He sets about his man once again, scoring to both body and head. Terrific commitment being shown by STRAZZEWSKI. And it's perhaps a good thing, Andy, that he was in his own corner, because I'm not sure he would have been able to walk in a straight line back to his stall after that dominant round produced by Jorge Felimon. 10-8 across the board. So the Cuban boxer leading it on all 5 cards.
Well, we've seen him do this before. We've seen him do this before, dig in the second round when he really needs to. And I think the body work in the first half of the round, he put in quite a lot of body work in that opening 90 seconds of the round, which really slowed STRAZZEWSKI down. And then he just started catching him clean on numerous occasions. And I'm not saying the referee should have jumped in for a standing count before that, but he probably could have. And that was just a very dominant round from Felimon. He just clicks through the gears. He's maybe just a little bit slow getting started, but like a juggernaut rolling down the hill, he just gathers pace, and if you're standing in his way, he will run you over. And that's what happened in that round.
So into the 3rd and final round we go. Jakub STRAZZEWSKI under real pressure, having taken 2 standing 8 counts in the 3rd. He spent every second of the 60 on his stool over in that red corner, while Jorge Felimon remained on his feet, showing his opponent that I am fresh and fit and ready to fire once more as soon as that bell sounds to begin the 3rd and final round. So STRAZZEWSKI trying to summon up his reserves. He's picked off by a long left jab once again. And STRAZZEWSKI, well, I think he's really in an invidious position now, because he's either got to defend himself or he's got to try and fight back. And I feel if he tries to fight fire with fire, that leaves him in the pocket in punching range, and it could well bring about his demise inside the distance. Credit to the man. He is trying to fulfill his dream of being crowned a world champion here at his home tournament in Kielce 2021, but he is facing off against an opponent who will simply not relent. That's a beautiful corkscrew left hand, more shots turning through underneath, and a 3rd standing count could well be imminent. Remember, a maximum of 4 standing 8 counts permitted in youth boxing. STRAZZEWSKI comes back with a right hand of his own, but he is being outgunned in the course of this 3rd and final round, just as he was in the 2nd. STRAZZEWSKI bites down on his mouthpiece and gamely lets 2 punches go in the pocket, but you can see that he is a boxer who is beginning to wilt as he's pushed back towards the ropes once again due to the accurate shot selection of the man in blue. Left uppercut landed by STRAZZEWSKI. Now, this is significant, because if this mouthpiece comes out 3 times, be it from a punch or from it being exhaled, that will be a point off. And why that is an infringement is that a fatiguing fighter can often elect to do it to buy themselves some time, because the referee must intervene, have that mouthpiece rinsed and reinserted. So in order to avoid that being a tactic in the armory of a boxer under pressure, that is why a maximum of 3 times will result in a point being taken off. Not saying STRAZZEWSKI did it deliberately as he takes a hard right hand to the body, but he has bought himself an intermission there. But look at the burrowing punches just above the belt line being fired in by Felimon. STRAZZEWSKI gamely going after his man once again. Perhaps the last roll of the dice as we approach a final minute, but his defense is being breached by the pinpoint accuracy of the punches from both flanks from Jorge Felimon, who is feeling this one and fighting with everything he has to try and get a highlight reel inside the distance victory as he lands another rattling right uppercut and a left hook around the corner. STRAZZEWSKI out on his feet. Felimon perhaps wondering what's keeping this man up. He backs in towards the neutral corner, far side of the ring from our commentary position. Lands another left hand. Luca Vadilonga in prime position, keeping a close eye on the proceedings and looking at the body language and into the eyes of the man in red. I think this is becoming a survival mission now for Jakub STRAZZEWSKI. He wants to remain on his feet, steals a glance to his red corner to figure out how long is left. He's got less than 20 seconds to make it through to the final bell. He has given it absolutely everything, but he has been met with a man in Jorge FELIMON who simply would not be denied. He's still being encouraged by his corner with STRASZEWSKI. He launches one final salvo. He lands a left hook, but it is not going to be enough. And after the conclusion of 3 pulsating 3-minute rounds of boxing, it is Jorge FELIMON of Cuba who will stand atop the gold medal rostrum here, adding his name to the roll call of big Cuban boxers who have occupied that same position here at the World Youth Championships. The late, great Roberto Bellado, Felix Savon, Odlanier Solis, and a whole host of other Cubans at different weights have stood on that highest rostrum, and they are about to be joined by Jorge FELIMON, who produced a brilliant display. What a response in the second round.
So
let's get the announcement.
In the bout 393, the final of heavyweight division, win on points with unanimous decision from the blue corner, Jorge Luis FELIMON Lobaina.
Jorge FELIMON blowing a kiss up to the heavens, and perhaps that prayer and that celebration will be received by the late great Roberto Bellado, who won this title back in Havana in Cuba in 1987. He went on to take Olympic super heavyweight gold and a Val Barker trophy as well, and given the way that this man performs, we could well see him go on to accomplish similar. He's not only skilled, he's not only incredibly tough mentally, but what a competitor, able to turn things around when the odds are against him. He did it time and time